One of the things that I have really enjoyed making about this is the nature aspect of it. So like sampling like natural sounds. So I love going up to Lee Woods and like with my little Tascam and like record all the bird sounds and bird song. It's so wonderful up there and so peaceful. And like when I go into the woods, it just reminds me that the feeling that I want to create when I record then back home, and it makes me feel really calm and happy about what I'm doing, and I love doing that.
It's actually a bass.
So this is my first album, and it's called Safe, and it's about negative memories that I've had throughout my childhood and growing up, and then basically turning those memories into a positive thing. Each track is dedicated to a different memory, and by doing that I found that I could create something that meant so much more, because I was able to harness all of those negative emotions and turn them into something really beautiful. One of the tracks on the album is called I Lose My Head, and it was the first tune that I'd written where I realised that I can use my voice to stack loads of vocals and like layer loads of vocals to create like a mass kind of choir effect, because I've always really loved like movie soundtracks with like huge choirs in them. I'd sit at home for hours and hours and hours late at night, like just trying to stack loads of vocals to recreate that. Whereas I had limited equipment back then as well, because I was just working at pubs and trying to buy as much as I could when I could. So that particular track was really useful, because I sort of learnt that was a foundation that I could use. So it was the first one that kind of sparked the ideas for the rest of the album. So yeah, one of the tracks on the album is called Safe, and when I was recording it, it was raining outside in my window, and it was really beautiful, and I remember thinking how relaxing that sound was and that I loved it, so I wanted to capture that, so we sampled it and we've used it on that track, with like loads of like reverbs and loads of delays that come in and out, which is really cool because when like the rain's falling you can hear like different like frequencies on the like pitter patter, and it's really beautiful.
It was the heaviest rainfall that we'd known in ages, so there was this constant, rainfall on the roof, and so I literally stuck a microphone on the window, and we went into the living room for 5 minutes, trying not to chat to each other, just waiting for it to all happen. And we came back in and, press play, sounded great until this police car had actually driven by. So there was this police siren all over the track, and we thought, oh no, it's ruined, we got to do it again. So we just pressed hit play, and somehow, serendipitously, just after the first chorus, it just faded in perfectly and then fades out just before the second verse.
I wanted one track on the album to be something quite positive, so my friend was about meeting new people and connecting with new people, especially when I moved to Bristol and met loads of amazing people and amazing musicians. It's down to those people that have kind of made me realise that I can pursue my dreams and ambitions, and I think that's something really important. It's been really amazing working with my band, because they've just brought the whole album to life, and it's so cool. Like writing something, like spending hours and hours and hours and months, even years on recordings, in my own bedroom, and then suddenly hearing other people play it, and that dynamic is really exciting.
When we sort of thought, how are we going to make this thing live? Because it's got so many parts, and Aisha's singing all over in different layers, and then singing over the top of that. We thought, how are we going to create this? So initially I got Greg, my friend Greg, to MD, and he's absolute genius with this sort of stuff, and I knew he was at the time, so I recommended him to Aisha.
So with the set, the most important thing is Aisha's vocal, because Aisha's vocal is absolutely stunning, and she has this crazy intonations in her voice that just make an incredible vibe. So I wanted to build the set around the vocal, and to do that we use samplers and trigger pads, keys, synths, anything that's tangible and we can perform with. And I also wanted to make the set a live performance, so we're seen to sort of be physically playing and performing as much of the samples as possible.
Playing live has been quite difficult for me, actually, because I didn't really consider it. I know it sounds a bit daft, but I didn't really think about it. I just wanted to pour all of my feelings, all these memories, and all this difficult stuff into the recording. So at the time, that was all I was thinking about. That's all I was concentrating on, was trying to get across how I felt. But with the amazing people that I've got playing with me and amazing team, it's much easier because there's that support, which is great. And each gig is becoming easier and easier, so I think it'll probably get easier as the more gigs I play, and the more I get used to the thought of that. I guess it's just that change in that headspace. My name's Aisha Chaouche, and my album's called Safe. And to bridge the gap in case there was a war,